good? This is Juno and welcome to my channel. I'm doing this whole fitness body transformation series. If you haven't seen any of those videos, you can check them in the description down below. In my most recent video, I talked about the 3 plans that I feel like people need in order to transform their bodies. That is a workout / lifting plan, a diet / nutrition plan, and a abs and cardio plan. That video paired with what I talk about today will hopefully help you kickstart your fitness journey. Today, I'm going to talk about what I think are the must-do tips and also just everything that I learned. Let me remind you of some things before we get started. Everyone has phases where they are less fit or fit, and if you happen to be less fit right now or less healthy, that's okay. That's completely fine. Like, we good, you feel me? But it's also important to honestly reflect on yourself and look internally to see if there are ways that you should change to live healthier. I am no expert or fitness YouTuber, and I don't plan on being one. I'm simply trying to just share my experience with the homies as a realistic testimony. So please do not rely on me at all. Definitely do your own research. I would suggest all of the science-based, evidence-based fitness YouTubers. There's a lot of good ones, and those are the people that I mainly followed. And then another thing is that everyone has slightly different bodies, and so what works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not have worked for me. And so make sure to adjust according to your body. And I'm specifically speaking in the perspective of a skinny fat male demographic who loves food and never went to the gym when he first started. And I'm pretty sure I have average genetics and a normal level of motivation. And if that's you, hopefully this video can help you. Let's jump right into the must-do tips. The first one is to stick to the fundamentals. That is sticking to the 3 workout plans that I mentioned, as well as sticking to the right exercises with good form. By now, with the research that we have done on fitness, it seems like we know what the good exercises are, and so stick to the fundamental exercises. Those exercises have been proven for years, and basically all the fitness YouTubers, 80% of the workouts are the same. You want to use the ones that everyone's doing, basically. Those have been proven for years. With those exercises, you need good form. All you need to do is watch how the professionals do it and do your best to mimic it, but adjust it to your body. Good form is also a mind-muscle connection, and this is crucial. What exactly does this mean? So basically, when you first start working, you start to use muscles that you have never used before. And so you're not used to using those muscles, and so frankly you might not actually be using them. You'd be surprised how many different muscles you can use for the same exact movement. For each and every exercise that you're doing, make sure to know what muscle you're supposed to be targeting, so that when you're actually doing that exercising, you're literally consciously thinking of that muscle while you're doing that exercise. That's what the mind-muscle connection is. Then you'll directly actually work out that muscle. Like, really think about squeezing that muscle, and if you're not doing this, basically you're kind of wasting the exercise. And on top of all of this, another reason to stick to the fundamentals is, you know that phrase, like, it's the little things that matter? Yeah, that phrase does not apply to fitness in my personal opinion. Literally, there's so many of the little things that I would like focus on so much and just realize that these are not essential, and honestly, you don't even have to do them at all. Like, literally, there's tons. And all right, here are a bunch of examples. I'll just have it listed out right here. Like, all of these things, while they can improve your fitness, like, you literally don't have to do them. And I don't know why I literally wasted so much time thinking that, like, oh my gosh, more. I need to do more. No. It's not about doing all the little things. It's just about sticking to the fundamentals. And as long as you stick to the fundamentals with a good fitness routine, the right exercises, and good form, pairing that with a healthy diet and good sleep, you good, bro. Number 2, consistency. You have to have some level of consistency, even if they're just consistent stretches. For me, I literally had so many stretches that were super inconsistent, but I also had plenty of stretches that were very consistent. I'm talking, I was working out about 4 to 6 times a week for 2 to 4 months straight. And I had about 4 to 5 of those stretches in the span of my whole 2+ year journey, which really propelled me to transform my body. Consistency allows for growth. That's literally the only way. But one thing is, consistency also allows you to rest. So when there's a day where you're bummed, or you're feeling lazy, or you're stressed out, you cannot work out, and that will actually benefit you in the long run. And if you're consistent, a cheat meal here and there really won't do that much to your body, so you won't have to stress about eating good here and now. Number 3 is progressive overload. It's simply just increasing the amount of weight for your exercises. Pretty much for any exercise, you'll get to a point where increasing the amount of reps won't increase the amount of strength you gain. And that's why there's like a ton of people that can do like 100 push-ups per se, but then on the bench press, they can't lift that much. More reps does increase your strength to a certain extent, but once you reach that threshold, you're gonna have to increase the amount of weight you're using to lift. And that's why people that do body weight exercises, aka calisthenics, normally transition from calisthenics to weighted calisthenics because there's only so much that you can do with your own body weight. Number 4 is progress tracking. Practically speaking, you have to keep track of your progress because that's the only way that you can tangibly measure your growth. And there's no other way if you know if you're stronger if you don't compare yourself to your previous self. For each and every exercise, I documented how much weight I can use at that current time. For example, I would write down I could do 5 reps of bench press for 155 pounds. And I did this using an application called Notion, which I'll also explain on a separate video. I would also suggest when you're in the cutting phase to keep track of your body fat percentage loss. You should also take progress pics, honestly, even though it's like weird though, because like I was very uncomfortable doing it, but like it's cool to see eventually if you're consistent enough, you'll be able to see like visual changes and you're like, oh my gosh. And you can make an epic time lapse. My 5th and final tip is to try different things. You need some variability. While it's important to stick to the fundamentals, you should just also try new things. Here's the cycle that I recommend you should follow. Try new things, see what works, do that consistently, and then if you reach a roadblock, just try different things and the cycle repeats. Honestly, I wasted so much time trying to evolve my fitness routine to just make it better and better, but if you stick to the fundamental exercises, for the most part, those are just the best ones. Definitely don't waste your time trying to have a new workout routine every week. Then you'll never be consistent with the same exercises and then you'll never gain muscle. But if you reach a roadblock, just try new things. Different exercises from your normal routine will activate your muscles in a different way and they'll stimulate your muscles in a different way, which will probably help you provide growth. And there's definitely exercises that I would say are more fundamental, but plenty of exercises are really good. And like there's no perfect workout routine, especially because everyone is so different. Yeah, so I would suggest try different things. And that could be trying different exercises, trying different grips, trying different order of exercises, even trying different amounts of weights for different amount of number of reps. Try different things, see what works, and stick to that cycle. Those are the 5 tips I think you need to know to transform your body. Here are a few things that I learned. Number 1, your body is a temple, but beauty standards are whack. I feel like something that I used to not understand is that it's truly a privilege to be able to take care of your body, as so many people have physical disabilities. And so I was like, okay, I should honor that and take care of my body. You know, health is wealth. But this doesn't mean you need to look a certain way is what I learned. There's tons of people that have never gone to the gym and lifted weight that are much healthier than me or others. The internet literally worships and objectifies our bodies so much to the point that people value themselves based off how they look. And that's so whack. Like that's whack af. Me when I wake up versus me literally right after I work out versus me about an hour after I work out versus me after all you can eat Korean barbecue, like that's literally 4 different me's in one day, and I'll literally look completely different. And how I look like 90% of the time is me how I look like in the morning when I'm much less defined. I'm just saying, like, just know the reality, because I was like, oh my gosh, how are these people literally so freaking fit? They're not always like that, and I never was like that. I'm not even joking. I literally probably had a 6-pack for 40 seconds. And you'd be surprised how good lighting and good angles take, so just be aware. Number 2 is to know your personnel and your body. At the end of the day, we're literally all so different, right? And so if you aren't a morning person, don't all of a sudden be like, all right, next year I'm going to wake up at 6 a.m. every day, only to do that and fail and then be discouraged. If you're a night owl, just stick to being a night owl and work out in the evenings or at night. And if you know you're not going to work out after eating with the homies, make sure to get that workout done ahead of time. Work with your advantage. Don't try to overchange yourself. All of our bodies are slightly different, and so you should really do what's best for you. For example, for me, I had a lot of shoulder problems, so eventually I got to a point where I was like injuring my shoulders, and I was like, okay, I know I really wanted those huge round shoulders, but unfortunately I'm gonna have to compromise because that's not good for my body. So I would just stop and kind of just maintain the muscle. Do what's best for you and your body. Yeah, so make sure to adapt to your own body. All right, number 3 is finding a gym buddy. I would say if you can find someone that is more consistent than you, this will help keep you accountable and also increase your consistency. If I had a gym buddy, I feel like I would definitely increase my consistency, just because like when someone else wants to go, you want to go too. This also helps you avoid ego lifting, which is basically cheating the exercise. For example, when I was first starting to do pull-ups, I would literally like swing my legs up and use the momentum to pull me over the bar. But then when I worked out with like one of my homies, I noticed like since he's just like watching me and there's like some kind of pressure, I'm like doing the exercises with good form because, you know, I don't want him to think that I'm cheating. So yeah, I would definitely say find a gym buddy. Yeah, and remember when I talked about mind-muscle connection? Well, basically a gym buddy can really help you do that. For example, if you're doing an upper chest exercise, you can ask them to poke your upper chest while you're doing that exercise. And you might notice like while they're poking it, your upper chest is actually sleeping because you're using different muscles. And you're gonna be like, oh my gosh. At the beginning when I was first working out, I remember I did like a chest day workout and then the next day my back was sore and I was like, what? Like, what the flip? Definitely was doing something wrong, you know? Yeah, so these are all good reasons why you should find a gym buddy if you can, especially one that's better than you. Number 4 is sacrifice and motivation. If you're like me and you love food, unfortunately, you're gonna have to gain some level of discipline or not gonna be able to eat good every single day. There are plenty of times where I gave in, but there are also plenty of times where I learned to say no. And it's so hard, honestly, because even in like the days where you're trying to just stay home, like the homies want to eat out, so it's like, what are you gonna do? You feel me? For me, did I have any extreme discipline? No. But what was it that stopped me from going out those times? It was me. I was my biggest motivator. Let me explain that. One of the biggest motivators is you. It's your own progress. If you're consistent for a long enough time, you'll reach real growth. It's like when I was able to do 5 push-ups and then 2 months later, I could do 30 push-ups. Or like when I could bench 155 pounds and then 2 months later, I could bench 175 pounds. It's like, holy cow, that's freaking insane. Literally the same exact me could only do this much 2 months ago, but now I could do more. Like, that's crazy. That's what kept me motivated. And honestly, it hurts when you stop your progress, so use that to keep going. Number 5, some at-home exercises and even calisthenics can feel impractical psychologically speaking. What do I mean by that? Some at-home exercises, while they're a great alternative to going to the gym, at some point they start to feel impractical. And I mean, psychologically speaking, you're just like, huh? For example, people would say to attach a curtain or like a towel to your door and close the door and use it for back pulling exercises. And I'm just like, huh? Another example is like, it's really hard to use just your body weight to work out your biceps. And so like some guy would say like wrap around a towel like behind your legs and like curl it. And I'm like, just like, huh? And honestly, it's quite impressive. It's like a cool alternative, but it's like, you're doing it, you're like, what the flip am I doing? Or even like pull-ups, people would say like, oh yeah, just find somewhere where you can hang. And if you don't have somewhere hang, just hang on the door and do pull-ups. And I'm like, but you're probably gonna break through the door. And while there are great at-home exercises, there are just like a few really cheap investments that you can make. For example, attaching a pull-up bar to your door where you'll just be able to do the exercise a lot better and safer. Number 6, Facebook Marketplace equals your best friend. If you're trying to work out at home, literally Facebook Marketplace has everything for MF steals. Like homies are always trying to get rid of their workout equipment. Really, if you're patient and constantly looking, you can build out an entire like mini at-home gym for really cheap. Even the cheap adjustable dumbbells I bought at Walmart for like $70, I later found on Facebook Marketplace for $40. And honestly, the quality of them, even after they're used for like 2 years or something, they can't go down that much. I've seen like one of those huge dip bar / pull-up bars for free on Facebook Marketplace, and those things cost like $200. So go on Facebook Marketplace if you're looking for home equipment. And lastly, number 7 is to ease into things. Your body needs time to grow in all aspects of fitness. Even when I was consistently running for 30 to 4 minutes and then switched to jump rope, I could literally only jump rope for 4 minutes. Why? Because your body uses different mechanics for every single different exercise, so you need time to adjust. If you go on a month break, give yourself time to adjust back into your routine gradually. Your body needs time to adjust and get back into its routine. Don't just get right into it or you'll probably get injured. On another kind of random note, don't waste any time targeting fat on your body. I remember I would like try to, obviously I want to get rid of like my face and my neck fat and then obviously belly fat. Unfortunately, fat does not work like that and it just comes off when it's feeling like it. So don't try to target that, or don't waste your time targeting losing fat. Yeah, and that is pretty much it. That's everything I learned and the tips that I would recommend for you to transform your body. My next videos, I'll be talking about exactly what exercises I did to transform my bodies. Thank you so much for watching. I can't even believe you watched this. See ya.